Welcome to another watch party on Sunday Scaries with Bucks McGee. Bucks McGee, I will say there is no Aaron Rodgers tonight, but it is still the Battle of New York. Are you disappointed, or are you still have some juices to opine on with this matchup in the preseason?
I don't know why he couldn't play the one series. Like really, it's like legit. The man played 4 snaps last year. You're telling me you just can't have him suit up, hand off the ball 4 times, and call it a day? Like really? Like this is ridiculous. But whatever. It's the Jets. That's what the Jets do, and it is what it is. So yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what this Jets team is going to look like because honestly I don't know what the backup situation is because let's be honest, they're this is their year, this is it. Like let's be honest,
Yeah,
we don't know what next year brings for the Jets. So
yeah. I mean, in pure unbiased reaction, do you think this is a potential negative for their upcoming season to not get him any action before the season actually kicks off, before they play the Niners of all teams, uh, as opposed to considering the fact that he's basically gone an entire season without playing any actual live game action?
like I get teams now that pretty much it seems like preseason games are passe and basically it's the joint practices where these guys pretty much get their work in. But I think at least one preseason game, you go through the motions, you just get yourself prepped, let them get dressed, give the fans a little something. Like I said, he doesn't have to sit there and drop back all 4 times, and just chuck the thing. He can hand it off, whatever. But if this is how they want to treat it, it's fine. I think he would have played if asked. So this might be a Robert Salas thing. I don't know, but the Jets are in a weird situation. It's like I said, this year it's all or nothing. Like if they won it out in the playoffs, then this move was useless. Like you have to get to at least the conference championship with this team. So I would have liked to have seen them, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's a legitimate question. I mean, how much do you weight this decision to not have him play on Rodgers? Like, I'm not feeling with it, versus on the organization or the coaching staff. Like what's the percentage of how much is on the player versus the brass?
Here's the deal: if Aaron Rodgers comes to Solace and says, "I'm not playing preseason games," and that's it, and they let that happen, then Rodgers runs the organization. Like it doesn't matter who's in charge; it's Rodgers' show. So, but if Salas was like, you know what, I want to see you in for a series or two. Let's just, full game. Let's see what make sure we're good to go 100%, which he should be. Roger should just be like, all right, fine. You might not like it, but at the end of the day, you're the player. So suck it up, suit up, in and out real quick. Most every starter in the league at least played one series this
Yeah,
preseason. I don't see why he couldn't, but I think this is also the problem. They let Aaron run the show right when he walked in, from bringing in his own guys to not showing up for that first couple mandatories. He's pretty much done what he wanted. So this is what the Jets inherited, and now you're going to see what you get.
yeah. I mean, what is it? Mahomes, two, three times MVP, three Super Bowls. He at least got a couple series in, and he's been healthy the last several years. Like, he hasn't gotten hurt. So, I mean, is there from a fan's perspective, is there a negative connotation to not seeing Rodgers suit up, especially on the heels of last season, versus someone like Mahomes who has absolutely nothing to prove in the preseason, and he's or
Yeah,
at least got a couple snaps in.
yeah. I think especially for the fan base, just to get everybody going and feeling good. Let them suit up. Like I said, 4 handoffs. Like no one cares if you win this game. It doesn't matter. So run the ball 4 times. Throw a little screen. Call it a day. You pull them out. Move on.
What do you think from the other side of the ball with the Giants? I mean, obviously, Daniel Jones is. I mean, we like to poke fun at Daniel Jones a lot. Social media, like the Twitter squad likes to poke fun at Daniel Jones a lot. But when it comes down to it, I mean, we had some fun on a sidebar over the offseason, like Daniel Jones' numbers, Trevor Lawrence's numbers are really not all that different. So, what do you really expect from the Giants side? I'm not totally sure if Daniel Jones is even going to play tonight, but I mean, what do you expect from the Giants in this one?
Who knows? Honestly, Daniel Jones is playing for his NFL career. Let's be honest. If they end up not making the playoffs, sub 500, just having a miserable season, Daniel Jones they're moving on. They have that ability with this new contract next year to basically move on from him. I think it's going to happen, but I guess they want to save face and at least give him one more shot. He needs to have an incredible year, and honestly, I think he would need to make the playoffs to save his career there. And I also think with the coaching staff, I think it's got to be playoffs or bust.
Yeah, so we're getting ready to kick off here. So, I mean, do you legitimately think that there's a some fire under the seat of Saleh?
Oh, there has to be. There has to be. He came in as the quarterback whisperer with all the work that he did with Josh. Well, the work he did with Josh Allen and all of this, and they had that year, his first year, and everything was supposed to go up, and it just hasn't worked with Daniel Jones. I think what'll happen is if they just fall apart this year and don't make it, he may get one more year, but they're going to go quarterback in the draft.
Yeah. So here we go with the kickoff.
Uh-oh, he's bringing it. He's bringing it. Uh-oh. Boy. Oh, and what fumble? Oh, boy, already. There you go.
Just the way that returner was running, for a split second, I thought it was Danny Dimes returning the punt, returning kickoff.
There you go, Giants. There's look at that. Look at that. Yep, okay. Giants fans. It's a microcosm of your season.
I'm not gonna lie, I had to think twice there because I saw 19. I'm thinking, Kadarius Toney, what's happening?
No one cares. Whatever. No one cares about that man. Whatever. I'm so over that guy. Whatever.
Well, you're not wrong. I mean,
jeez, whatever. Oh, look at this. The Jets. Look at this vaunted offense. Unbelievable. There we go. Little run action. Busted it to the outside.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. There you go. Can't complain.
And I mean, that's not Brees Hall. I mean, I can't imagine. Yeah.
There you go. The Jets' future right there. Martinez.
Alec Martinez? Is that Alec Martinez out there?
Adrian Martinez. Wow, last week, man, he was lighting it up. Lighting it up. Making Carolina look like Super Bowl champs. So Jets fans, this is your future. Like, let's be realistic here.
Right. It's next year.
Let's be honest. Exactly. I think Aaron has one more year, but let's be honest. If they screw the pooch this year, how much better can they get? Like, it's not like he's going to have a renaissance year. Like this, to me, this is the year. Like, they literally have to get to at least the AFC Championship game for them to say this move was worth it.
Do you think that, like, realistically, we're looking at a situation where that's okay? Because, like, to your point, you think he's got one more. Rodgers has one more year in the tank. Do you think it's okay for them to just get to the championship game and then, like, okay, we've probably got realistically one more season left out of Rodgers? Or do you think the ceiling should be a bit higher?
Oh, well, no. My honest opinion is should be Super Bowl or bust. But if you're telling me that they get to the conference championship and they lose like 31-35 or something like that, all right, he comes back from the injury. Then as a Jet fan, you can sit there and say, okay, we were that close. We just one or two plays just didn't go our way. Let's see what we can do. Maybe they tighten up some things in free agency, and then voila, they feel this is it. But if they go one and done, a la the Cowboys, then this was a waste, absolute waste of time. Like, why bother? You literally could have put a mid-tier journeyman in that quarterback position. Your defense would have carried you, and you probably had a good chance to make the playoffs, and just one and done it.
I mean, that's an interesting hypothetical from a more holistic perspective. Like, who has a longer leash when it comes to hype seasons with a Super Bowl aspirations? The Jets, the Giants, the Cowboys. I don't know if you want to throw the Eagles and the Niners in there. Teams like that. Like who has longer leashes in terms of Super Bowl aspirations?
Oh, the Niners, of course, because the Niners have been consistent, so the Niners have that leash. Eagles, maybe, but there's all this Sirianni, Hurts issues, going back and forth. Nobody knows if they're on the same page. Cowboys,
Mm,
no, there's no leash there. The Cowboys, what one and done every year. Everyone swears they're a Super Bowl contender. They get into the playoffs and then just blow it. So, plus you don't know what's going on with Dak and CD going forward. You don't know what that is.
yeah,
So, the Niners are that team that has the leash, and everybody else is year to year.
yeah. That can understand. I guess that was an injury timeout we just witnessed.
Nope, here we go.
Ooh,
Oh, the rollout. Uh-oh.
okay.
Little first
Hey,
down right there.
hey, maybe the Jets' future isn't so dim after all.
Wow, really? Why do you lie to these people? Why are you lying to these people?
I try to be a positive person, but to me, I try to be a positive person.
Yep. Don't worry, they'll be looking up. You know what's going to happen? In a couple years, they'll be looking up at the Patriots again. It's just going to be a bad situation.
I don't deny that, especially with the way Drake Mays looked in the preseason. I mean, it's really not that far fetched concept.
If you really look at the AFC East, if you look at the quarterback position, if you
Hmm.
look at long term, which team is on the outs? Really, I think it's the Jets. The Jets are trying to be built to win now.
Yeah, I
So
mean, I guess we could have the conversation of win now across the three because we saw this Buffalo re-envisioning in the off season. We know Miami's got a little bit of the pressure cooker turned up, and then obviously Rodgers at the tail end of his career. So really, we could say that there's a win now, a pressure on all three of these.
there are, but if you look at the quarterback position, which teams have the longevity and which one doesn't? Let's be honest. Those three teams, in theory, have longevity at the position.
Yeah,
And the Jets are literally like, all right, we don't know what Aaron's going to do day to day. So if he gives you 2 years and 2 years of AFC Conference Championship, and that's where it ends, you brought some excitement. But who's the guy off the bench? Who's the guy who's stepping in?
yeah.
Adrian Martinez. There's no future right now. It's all or nothing.
Especially when you have a game like this and they're uh, they're literally just they've got this young guy in there because obviously Rodgers is not playing, and all they're doing is running. Like they're not even really letting him air it out at all.
Like if I assume you want to see what you've got because, if Aaron goes down again, then what do you have?
Right.
Like, are you going into free agent market and trying to pluck somebody off the heap? Like, Joe Flacco's not around.
No, and like make fun of the MILF hunter all you want, but he was a guy that had been around for a few years and knows the system. So at least in that scenario, Rodgers gets hurt. At least he's got a guy that knows the offense.
Yeah, well, that's if, I assume, I don't know if Denver's keeping three guys in that quarterback room or not. But if they don't, maybe, what do you got to do? Trade back for him? Like, imagine
Yeah.
that. Imagine if the Jets had a trade back for Zach Wilson. And Denver would say, okay, fifth round pick.
Oh,
Like, let's be real. Uh-oh. First
oh,
down
look
and
at
then
that!
some.
Look at this.
Oh, flag. Uh-oh. Could we get a little bit of the holding? Could it be some holding? Let's see. What do we got? Oh, man, I'm good. We got to hold, folks. Got to hold.
From
You know,
podcaster to NFL analysis.
you're going to see me there on Super Bowl Sunday in my stripes doing my thing. But yeah, if I'm Denver and the Jets come to me, all right, yep, 5th rounder, easy. That's it. You need me,
We'll,
I don't need you.
we'll take him back.
So that's it. So it's one of those things. Like I understand, mortgaging for the now,
Yeah.
but there's no backup plan.
What an abbreviated drive this is, and they're still they're still moving the ball along.
Yeah, and for the most part, I think the Giants are playing backups anyways. So at this
Yeah.
point, I would think because usually after the first series or so, it's all back. At that point, they put the backups in.
I mean, that's an interesting scenario because through the first couple games in this third preseason week, we kind of went into this week thinking this is a dress rehearsal. We'd see more starters. We really
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen starters at all for all intents and purposes. I mean, what do you think? Do you think that's a faulty decision? I mean, obviously this is a byproduct of missing the fourth preseason game, but do you think this is kind of faulty strategy with not playing the starters in the last preseason game?
I go back to the joint practices. I think that's where the work really happens. And I
Mm-hmm.
think this is more of the okay, let's get into our game day routine. This is what we do. I think when it comes to the vets, that's what this is. They get in, they run their like 4 scripted plays or whatever, and then they're done. Because you don't want anyone getting hurt. We know that. So I think that's where the joint practices really come in, and that's where the work really is done. But I do think, regardless, you want your guys, get your starters to at least suit up, get into the process. If you're just handing the ball off, that center quarterback exchange or whatever, you're just getting back into the flow of the season. So I see why some teams may not want to do it, but I think, especially for your fans, just first series is nothing's gonna happen. Let it happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how many kids out there are wearing Adrian Gonzalez, Jets jerseys right now. I don't know if they woke up this morning and said, "Wow, we're gonna go see Adrian Gonzalez." Woo!
You almost you almost have to wonder like what are the odds of a Red Sox Adrian Gonzalez jersey versus Jets Adrian Martinez jersey? Like, whoa, what are
Oh, there you
oh,
go, man. Yeah, he dropped that ball.
yeah, that's not a catch.
He dropped
Which
that
is
ball.
funny because they just had the replay of like, all right, let's measure it out, and then they run the instant replay. I was like, well, I guess it's not really a point to measure it out if he didn't even catch the ball.
Well, you know what? I'd rather have this happen in preseason than regular season, where it's an extra 20 minutes of my time, where I'm like, really, this is what I'm
Sure.
waiting for.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know why this guy's over here complaining. He's coaching for his job at this point. You better hope Daniel Jones becomes a Pro Bowler.
Do you think Dabo's seat is hot?
I think it is. I
Okay.
honestly think it is. I believe they thought he was going to come in and turn Daniel Jones into something that he wasn't going to. Like, come on now. I I think once Daniel Jones started, everybody knew that where he was, 6th pick in the first round, like he's not the guy.
Hmm.
And they thought he was going to come in and turn him into Josh Allen 2.0. Now, Jones has talent. I'm not saying he doesn't, but he's not, especially in New York, he's not the guy.
Hmm.
He's not the guy. And like I said, unless Jones really does something, it's after this year, it's done. It really is. And I think he knows that. It's written on the wall. Everybody knows that the Giants were trying to trade up in the draft.
Yeah.
So what does Daniel Jones have, like when he walks in there, he's like, well, they didn't want me. It's fact that they didn't want me. They were trying to trade up. So I'm just here playing he's playing for himself. Like, we always talk about playing for the name on the front and all that. No, he's playing for himself because
Which
he's either going to be there, stay the starter, or they're going to drop him, and there may be enough film where someone picks him up and invites him to camp.
yeah. Which you have to think like that's a bad look uh out of the draft when you just gave that man a fresh new contract.
Well, that's the problem with the league. It's okay. Well, my quarterback's up now, so I got to pay him. That's what it is now.
Yeah.
You could be a mid-tier quarterback at best, and you're gonna make 40 to 45 million. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Literally in the off season,
How
every other
crazy is
week, Like in the offseason, every other week, the quarterback market was reset because somebody was the highest paid quarterback of all time. It was like nothing.
They could have scouted us 10 years ago on Wigwam Road in Stratford, Connecticut, and we might have gotten like $25 million a year.
Shoot, I would have took 15. I would have been cool with it. Just get that, and just keep giving me the free gear. That's all I want. I'm fine. I'll be low man, playoff bound, low man, win artist. I'm cool with that.
So what do you think of that first drive for the Jets? Obviously, not a lot of offensive proficiency there, but they still got points off of it.
Hey, give Martinez credit. He moved the ball. That's what you want to see because you really have to sit there and say if Rodgers goes down again, this is going to be the guy. So he's going to get a boatload of work. And that's what I think you've seen in the preseason games. Your number 2 guy has really seen a lot of work, because you've got to prepare. Because in this league, your number 1 goes down. Your number 2 better be ready to handle everything.
How crazy would it be for an element of regret if he gets hurt, if Rodgers gets hurt again, and they have to bring in this Martinez quarterback, and maybe he's not up to snuff or not ready to face a first team defense. And do you think like there's going to be any kind of element of regret as far as it's like, ooh, we let go of the MILF hunter and everyone made fun of him, but maybe he was a better option?
I don't. Well, yeah, because at least he's able to suit up every week. Yeah, he's a better option. But no, everyone will look and say, you know what, you took this risk, you basically mortgaged the franchise, and now this is what you get. Because let's be honest, some people were whispering about Aaron Rodgers. Like, come on, man, really? Like he's full of himself. Like, let's be real. Let's really look at us. Everyone marvels at the physical talents, but when you look at his career, and you know what? Let's be honest. At the end of the day, Super Bowls are what count. Let's be honest. The majority of people look at Super Bowls as your mark. He's physically gifted. I'm not going to lie. In his prime, probably one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks to play, no doubt. The way he flicks the ball, puts it, I will give him that. But for all this talent and for how great he was and the MVPs, only one Super Bowl. Okay, yeah. Eli has 2. So do I say Eli? So do I say Eli is better? If you're looking at numbers, no, not. But Eli performed when it counts.
Yeah.
So you look at that. Do you say Drew Brees is better than Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah, I mean, even to that one, hey, they each have 1.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Drew Brees didn't make the playoffs as much, but in terms of actual productivity in postseason, they're pretty equal.
Let's say the Prince in Jacksonville, Mr. Lawrence there. Let's say he somehow pulls off a Super Bowl at some point, right? If his numbers are somewhat similar to Aaron's once all said and done, was he better? That's the debate there is. If you're talking just personal physical talents and stuff, then yeah, you go ahead and throw Aaron on that Mount Rushmore. But at the end of the day, it's about winning.
Well, my personal opinion, let's hope Trevor Lawrence does not eke out a Super Bowl in Jacksonville because I might cry.
Sometimes, you know what? Sometimes you got to have the tears, man, to move on and move forward. I don't think it's going to happen, but the weirder things have happened in this league.
That is true.
All right, the Giants with a little run.
Offense now, yeah.
The Giants, honestly, and especially from watching Hard Knocks, they've just really handled things bad. They're just, I don't know. They are a franchise with some serious issues. Oh, look at that out of the backfield. Uh-oh. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I know you weren't a big fan of the way they handled the Barkley situation.
No, I think honestly, why not? And I get the whole running back, paying them, out of, insane amounts of money. Like I get it. The position's been devalued, no doubt. You can draft a guy and there you go. But Saquon was the face. He was still young and basically had a great bounce back year. Pay him what he wants. He wanted to stay in New York. Why not why not pay him? You know, you didn't have to give him a ton of money, but like for what he was asking, I think it was doable. I really do.
Uh,
Oh, Mr. DeVito's in. Oh shoot.
yeah. Tommy Cutlets. Tommy Cutlets.
Oh, there's maybe the lone shining moment in the Giants season last year.
How much of that Barkley decision do you think was them not wanting to commit to him because of injury scare versus them not wanting to commit to him because of like the money they committed to Danny Dimes previously?
That's what I think it is. I honestly think if they didn't commit that money to Danny Dimes, because basically when all that went down, it was everybody knew it was it was either one or the other because you knew the Giants weren't gonna pay both guys. So were you gonna pay Saquon? His
Yeah.
the bounce back year. Okay, well he's a running back we got to see, or oh Danny Dimes, he's the guy now. We got to pay him. We need a quarterback.
Which is crazy to me, the impatience in that situation, where because one hit free agency, a year before the other,
Yeah,
like if you honestly view one as more important than the other, why wouldn't you just chill for a year?
exactly. And they had no choice but to pay Jones. Like that's what happened. It was they got scared. They're like, well, we're not going to have a quarterback, so this is who we have. We believe in him, wink, wink. So we're going to pay him. Why not keep the running back, make sure secure that situation, and then tell Danny, okay, we'll sign you a 1 year deal or a 2 year. We'll figure this out, but we want to make sure you've got your security blanket there, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
Nope, they went. Okay, Danny's the guy, and now they're regretting it. They're like,
Oh,
look at the moves. Ooh, there you go.
so
All
I
right.
mean, I guess at this point we can make the assertion that neither the Giants nor the Jets' second team defense is very good.
Yeah. So if you're a fan of either team, you're hoping for no injuries. You're hoping for cleanness because you're just like, that guy just got juked and ridiculous. Wow. Yep. Yep. That guy will be playing on a practice squad somewhere else. But hey, but at the end of the day, these guys, like I said, some of these guys, it's always weird to see this where there's always one guy who plays extremely well during these times. And it's like, okay, he's going to make the team, but he never does. And then ends up getting signed somewhere else and just explodes.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's going to be one of those things where, we're going to see this one guy, or in your fantasy, you're sitting there going, okay, well, maybe this guy makes the team. Maybe this guy I stash because he's going to, end up getting some playing time.
Oh, yeah.
you
Yeah.
know. So these games I think are highly important for you fantasy guys because you're looking for that guy. You got that pick, you're like, all right, I gotta waste
If
a pick on somebody. Let me see.
if you've got a deep roster, 18 spots,
Yup, exactly.
you kind of gotta play the numbers as far as like, okay, who are the legitimate injury risks? Let me pick up their handcuff.
You're like, do I really want to have two kickers? I gotta pick somebody. Let's figure this out. And Robert Salas sitting there looking like the end is near. He just staring out there, going, "Good Lord, this is how it's gonna go." Give the Giants credit,
Oh,
man, moving the ball a little short,
come
but
on.
these guys are moving the ball. I got to give them credit.
Second and 3 with the Jets defense dropping back. If you don't convert that, you're not going to get a roster spot. Come on.
You go for it. 4th and 1,
Yeah,
you go for it.
we talked about that in our other watch parties as far as going for it on fourth down in the preseason.
Why not? It's a situation. Why not go for
Yeah,
it? You're that
yeah,
like. Let's be realistic. I don't think Adrian Martinez is scaring you. So why not? And you've
yeah.
been able to run the ball. So just put your head down. Oh, but they stopped him there. Man, I
They
was a
did stop.
jinx.
All right.
Ooh, my fault.
I thought for a second there they may have gotten it by the nose, but yeah, I don't think so.
No, I think I think they lost a yard. Actually, my fault. I apologize. But hey, you know what? You never know. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, oof. Yeah, 55
All right.
got in there and just said no. We're good.
All right. So I mean, that's one drive for each squad in right now. Um, I mean, what do you think Giants here? I mean, is that more positive on the Jets defense, or maybe the Giants got a little bit extra?
Giants were solid. I think maybe you let DeVito throw the ball a little more. The run was
Yeah,
working, but I'd like to see a little more, out of the arm. But the Jets defense, came up strong. I have no problem with them going forward on 4th and 1. I probably would have ran something else, not right up the middle, because it looked like a lot of the yards were coming off the edges there. But
sure.
like I said, preseason games, it's a lot of vanilla offense that's being called and such. So I don't fault them. Try to get that first down. Didn't work out. Now you hope your defense can kind of stop them. But hey, I liked it. Works for me.
I mean, and for this perspective of the uh, developmental kind of thing, I mean, what do you think of, like, aside from obviously the drive not working out, what do you think of Tommy Cutlets here? Because if Danny Dimes gets hurt again, he's the man again, and now he's got at least half a season under his belt from last year.
And I think that's important. He understands what's expected. He went through it last year. He had some ups, had some downs. So I think he understands what it's going to take if he's got to step in. And I think he also kind of has to sit there and say, you know what? If I get the opportunity again, I need to keep it. He has to go in and believe that he is the starter and wants to stay the starter, because let's say he goes hot. Let's say he gets in, something happens. Jones gets benched or something, and he goes on a 5-6 game tear where they're 5-1, and he's lighting it up, and you keep the job. You do what you got to do. You don't want to see guys lose their jobs, but it's the NFL, man, and it's one of those. It's that age-old question: if someone gets hurt or someone gets benched, you bring in the other guy, and the other guy's on fire. Do you keep going with him till he falters? Or do you say, okay, fine, my starter's okay now, let's bring him back? It's that Danny Dimes, man. You hope for the best, but it's one of those things. Though I do like the Jets uniforms. I gotta say, I do like the old schoolness. I do enjoy them. Give me some Altoon.
Some Altoon.
Give me some Altoon, man. James Hasty, some good times out there. Craziness. That's it, man. But not bad, not bad. Some yards there, some yards. It's just these two teams are literally on the opposite sides of the spectrum. You got one team that's Super Bowl aspirations, another team that's like, man, we just want to play 500 ball. Give us a chance.
All right.
Malachi.
Which team is which in that?
Oh, come on now. It's the Jets are praying Super Bowl right now. That's it, man. Because I'll tell you, with every loss that the Jets take, this decision to bring in Rodgers is going to start to weigh down.
Bring him in from the get-go, as in the previous offseason.
Mm-hmm. And if the Giants can say, the Giants will think it's successful if they're hanging around final week or two of the season. Let's be honest.
Which, I mean, from there, like, it's funny how you change the perspective from team to team, because from the Giants' perspective, that is a success for them, because they were not supposed to be good for the last couple of years.
Ooh. That's gonna leave a mark.
As I take a minor, little dump on the Giants' chest, they have this little blow up the backfield sack, huh?
That's it, man. That line better be good, especially for the Jets if you want Aaron to survive.
Yeah.
If
Right,
someone on
because
the if any
we've
of the
already seen him
starters
not
exactly. If any of the starters go down, these are the guys that are going to be backing up. Yep. Aaron's like, damn. Yeah, this isn't it. It's not what I'm looking for.
play. Hello, beer for breakfast, facts for snacks. Thanks for hopping in. We're doing this little Jets Giants Battle of New York watch party here. Um, having some fun. Thank you for hopping on and partaking. So, I mean, yeah, that was a bit of an interesting scenario with getting blown up in the backfield and giving up a sack because uh, obviously we saw that not work out to the best of intentions last season. A mere 4 plays in, as we routinely mention in our show.
Could be one of the best 4 plays of the year, man. Come on, that was epic. Not the last play, but those four
I
plays will
keep
go
me
down in infamy. Infamy.
I I keep meaning to ask you, like, is that still a point of contention with Rodgers now that he doesn't wear 12 anymore? Do you still look at those 4 plays as a good thing versus a less than optimal thing?
I don't look at those. I don't, man. I don't wish any injury on anybody, not at all. But yeah, he was an all right number 12. He wasn't great number 12. He was all right. He was an adequate 12. In the annals of 12s, he was all right.
Dare I ask you who brandished the 12 better, Aaron Rodgers or Andrew Luck?
Wow, you really want to go that route, eh? No.
I,
But you know what? I'll be honest. Honestly, if you look at 12s, Terry Bradshaw's up there for sure. I think he's my
yeah,
number. I think he's my number 212.
and I think Staubach was 12 as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
See, these guys are it. Rodgers, he's a couple bowls short.
yeah. They put in the work. A-Rod didn't. That's all it is.
If he had won 3, then all right, he's a legit 12. But he's like a stepbrother 12. He's like the stepbrother 12.
The adopted stepbrother, not even the stepbrother by marriage.
Exactly. They were like, we want one more. Let's take him. That's it. Nah. But here we go. Number 15 is going to sell well in the New York market. Here we go. Oh no. Oh no. Throw it away. Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, I guess the silver lining there is at least he threw it away.
Exactly, because you always have that one quarterback that tries to make some spectacular play, and you're like, no, man, just throw it away. Yeah, that was rough. Ouch. Smart move.
Huh? I recognize his name. I feel like he's been around for a few years in a backup capacity.
I don't know. He's been backing up because he's not catching anything. Oh, that's horrible. But he was smart. Like I said, threw it away. Some young guys want to run and try to figure something out, make a play out of it. No.
Yeah.
You just dump it, call it a day. Live to play another down.
Live.
That's it. Exactly.
Put on my best Ted Lasso voice.
Yeah, this is going to be a 3-0 game. Yeah, I'm feeling it already. 3-0. No, 6-3. 6-3.
First team to 9 points wins.
You're like, all right, now we're going to call it. Let's just call it. We don't have time for this. But again, I give the Giants defense credit,
Yeah.
Looking fast.
Yeah, I mean, we're making fun of the teams a little bit for like, okay, how much of a success versus a push was doing performing against the second team defense, but at the same time, maybe we should give a little more credence to the second team defense, because if you could stop a drive, then maybe you've got a job in your future for practice squad or backup player or something.
Oh,
Jets touched it.
I couldn't tell. It looked like a Giant touched it, but I couldn't tell. Here we go. Comes down.
The foot. Well, I was looking at the foot on the return. I was looking at the foot on the returner.
I can't tell.
Well, I guess he wasn't technically the returner, but the coverage guy.
No. Oh, Giants with the ball. I get that. It seems like the Giants defense just, it seems like, I don't know, it just seems like their guys wanted a little more.
Yeah. Well, the officials probably also don't want a controversial call in the preseason. That would be probably a bad look.
Oh Lord, what was this? This is a hot mess. Oh Lord.
And it's still Tommy. Oh boy, they
Yeah,
better hope that.
Tommy will be playing the whole rest of the game. At this point, the way that it's looked, the number two has pretty much played the whole game, unless some teams are carrying three, which it's pretty much not many. So it's probably going to be a cutlet tonight.
I mean, that's an interesting hypothetical. Like, let's say you won't. Well, regardless of whether you carry two or three, let's say that you're not totally sold on your quarterback situation. It's not a Mahomes, a Goff, a Lamar Jackson situation. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
like what might your mentality be as far as these preseason games if your backup's not playing great, but you kind of let him string out a little bit more because he's not playing great and you want to get him more reps.
You got to see what you got. Because let's be honest, the regular season, if your quarterback plays, the full season, your backup isn't getting any snaps. He's getting what, cleanup duty, depending on who you are, So he might get what, like, oh,
Oh, that's
ooh, the Jets heard us talk, man. That Jet defense coming back. Okay, don't do the Sean Marion thing, man. That's horrible, man. Come on, that's ridiculous. Like, I couldn't stand that mess when he did it. Now I gotta watch someone else do it. If I'm Sean Merriman, I'm going, don't you do that. That's what is wrong with you? Oh Lord. Lights out. Whatever.
all right. That is two drives from each team. So if you want to continue with our watch party, head down to the comments below. Click the link in the description and join us over on Rumble. We will continue this watch party for the remainder of the first half because we don't want the YouTube gods to yell at us. So if you want to hang out, continue to hang out with us for the rest of the first half, click the link in the description below. Head over to Rumble and hang out with us more for the remainder of this first half.